Okay, so, everyone's talking about this Madam Web movie, right?
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. And we're going to take a deep dive into what's going on.
Right.
We're going to see if this superhero flick is a hit or a miss.
Exactly.
And we are looking at a review from MovieKaTicket.com.
Yeah, good source.
Yeah, they have really unbiased movie reviews, so
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good one to take a look at.
Sounds good.
So this is where it gets a little tricky because it's not in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's in Sony's Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, the SSU.
SSU.
Uh-huh.
So different playground.
Totally.
Different rules.
Yeah, different set of characters.
Yeah, different continuity.
No Tom Holland swinging by for a cameo.
Nope. Uh-huh.
So, we have Dakota Johnson
Yes.
as Cassandra Webb,
Okay.
who is a paramedic
All right.
who develops psychic powers and becomes Madam Web.
Go.
And the coolest thing about this is that she can see the future.
Oh, that's cool.
And not just any future.
The future of 3 young women who are going to become spider women.
Oh, very cool.
Isn't that a cool concept?
I think it's a great jumping off point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, so, and what's really interesting is that the review highlighted Dakota Johnson's performance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said she brought this really cool blend of, like, humor, wit, and self-doubt.
Yeah.
Which I think makes Madam Web kind of a relatable character.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You know what I mean? Because she's like this powerful psychic person,
right.
but she's still kind of unsure of herself.
Yeah. Well, especially when you think about, like,
right.
Madam Web in the comics.
Yeah.
She's always been portrayed as very, like, wise and all-knowing.
Right.
So to add that element of, like,
right.
self-doubt, I think that's a really interesting take on the character.
I could already see her, like,
yeah.
delivering a sarcastic one-liner,
Yeah.
while, like, predicting the end of the world.
Something like that.
Uh-huh.
But the review also mentioned pacing problems.
Oh, no.
Which I always get really worried about
Yeah.
when it comes to these big action movies, you
Oh,
know?
I know what you mean. It's like if the pacing is off, it can really throw the whole movie off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can...
Because you get
bored or, like, you're just not invested in what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like, from what they were saying, is that, like, the second act felt very rushed.
Yeah.
Like, they were trying to cram way too much information in, like, a very short amount of time.
Yeah. And that's tough because it's like the second act is usually where you're really building up to the climax.
Right.
You're setting up all the stakes.
Right.
And if they rush through that, it's like...
Yeah, you're kind of like, wait, what just happened?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Almost like they had too many ideas.
Right.
And they didn't know which one to focus on.
Yeah, it's like they didn't want to cut anything, so they just kind of, like, crammed it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before.
And speaking of too many ideas.
Okay.
The review also criticized the plot for being convoluted.
Oh, really?
Like, really hard to follow.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's also because they were trying to juggle, like, so many different storylines and characters.
It can get really messy.
Yeah.
When you have too many things going on at once.
Yeah.
Especially in a superhero movie where you've got, like,
right.
The action and the special effects and, like, you're trying to keep track of who's who and what's what.
Right.
It can be really overwhelming for the audience.
I feel like sometimes a simpler approach.
I agree is better.
Yeah. Sometimes less is more.
Yes.
At least the visuals are supposed to be impressive.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Especially the scenes.
Okay.
Depicting Cassie's visions of the future.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the review specifically talked about the use of particle effects.
Oh.
To represent, like, Cassie's psychic energy.
That's interesting.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like this visual language that's often used in comic books.
Oh, okay.
To depict, like, psychic powers.
I see.
So it's like they're drawing on that visual vocabulary.
Yeah, you're trying to, like, translate that to the screen.
Yeah, and instead of just, like, throwing random special effects at the screen, they're really thinking about how to visually represent these powers in a way that comic book fans will recognize.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Comic book fans.
Right.
They're very particular about these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And beyond the special effects, the review also said that Madam Web is doing a really good job of kind of developing the SSU world.
Okay.
So, like, introducing new characters and concepts, which is good news for fans of Sony's Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like this movie's laying some groundwork for future stories.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even if the movie itself has some flaws.
Right.
Yeah. Which, it seems like it does.
Uh-huh.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay.
The action scenes.
Yeah.
Get a decent rating.
Oh, good.
So, they're not groundbreaking.
But they're
entertaining enough.
All right. So,
not like...
And mind-blowing.
Yeah, not mind-blowing, but not like a total snooze fest.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
Now, here's the bad news.
Okay.
Madam Webb did not spin a hit at the box office.
Oh, no.
The numbers were pretty disappointing. And the critical reception wasn't much better.
So it just kind of like...
Yeah, it fizzled out.
Yeah, kind of a missed opportunity.
It is tough out there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for superhero movies, because
everybody has seen them all.
The audiences have like sky-high expectations.
Yeah, they do.
It's really hard to wow them these days.
You really gotta step up your game.
You gotta pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm curious what everyone thinks.
Uh-huh.
Would you be interested in seeing Madame Web?
Yeah.
Even with all these kind of mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Do you think that the psychic visions and the multiple spider women and the potential for future SSU stories outweigh the pacing problems and the convoluted plot?
Yeah.
What aspects stand out to you the most?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, let us know because I'm curious.
Yeah, I want to know too.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.